me see. Trying to check this out, but all right. I guess I should probably start saying shalom. All right, shalom, brothers and sisters. So we're gonna touch on these reptiles for the one time. I'm wanting to talk about how the Bible speaks on it, but it don't speak on it, because there's a lot of people out there that they say they believe the Bible. And there ain't nothing wrong with believing the Bible, but they feel like the Bible is just golden and it's everything, and the Bible can't keep out anything, and everything is what it is. So I'm making this video because there's a lot of people that's still thinking inside that box and not outside the box. And once you start thinking outside the box, then you'll be able to see everything for what it is. You see what I'm saying? So we're gonna go backwards in time, when our forefathers and things, when they got enslaved. When they were enslaved, they was put on a boat. People say it was called Jesus. And so they were put on this boat, brought over to America, Meruka, which is the idolized name for it. So they were brought there, and they were stripped of all of their knowledge, and they were given a book. And the book was called the Holy Bible. This Holy Bible was made before we came over. Okay, so this Holy Bible, the King James Version, is what they call it, was made in 1611. They have it printed on all of them. It was made in 1611. By history, we know that our ancestors was brought over in 1619. So these devils had 8 years to get this book right? And change it, take stuff out, whatever. They were giving us this book to learn it. And this was like the only way that we had any type of knowledge of our history, right? Okay, bear with me now. So we're reading this book, we're knowing this book, and like I said, I'm not saying that nothing in the book is true. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is there's some stuff that's missing. And a lot of people is like, well, how is there stuff missing when it clearly says, you know, this. So I'm touching on the reptilians, okay? These reptiles. That's who runs this area. That's who created the book to be crooked. Yes, there was reptilian people that was walking. And they were called man. All right, but you're going to figure it out in just a minute. So I had made a video about the dollar, you know, and how on the back it's got, this is kind of sloppy because I used a marker, but it's got in the top of it, it's got reptilian faces on the top, because that's who runs this. Okay, because a lot of people don't think that there's reptilians running this. A lot of people be thinking that when they see these videos online of these superstars or whatever, their eyes turning into like the little line or whatever, that's just Photoshop. Photoshop is, you know, around, but I don't believe that that's Photoshopped. I do believe that that is, they're showing you, because they move their eyes a certain way, you're going to see it. You know, no matter contacts or what, they're reptilians. There are people that start out in a business that's normal, just like the rest of us. Then when they don't want to do what they're supposed to do, then they get replaced. And they get replaced by a reptilian with their skin. That's what they do. They just put it on. You know, like the movie The Mask. And he put the mask on it and he turned into it. And Hollywood always tells you some stuff. But y'all be looking at it as entertainment, instead of looking with your third eye outside of the box and seeing what they're telling you. Okay? So, anywho, I am reading out of this book. All right, it's called The Complete Works. All right. And the thing about this book that I actually like is that it breaks it down as Moses is saying it. Moses is telling the story. So it's saying Moses said this, Moses said that. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like it. So with that being said, on book 1, the creation to the death of Isaac, from the creation to the death of Isaac. We in chapter 1, verse 1. I am not going to read from the beginning because it does start. I'm going to show you. It does say, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. All right. Just so you know, it's just like the Bible. It's just written in a different way, but it's still educational. Okay. So we're going to skip all the way down to the 6th day. Now it says on the 6th day, let me see. No, the 5th day. The 5th day, he produced the living creatures, both those that swim and those that fly. The former in the sea and latter in the air. He also sorted them as to society and mixture for procreation, and that their kind might increase and multiply. On the 6th day, he created the 4-footed beast and made them male, female. On the same day, he also formed man. On the same day, he also formed man on the 6th day. That's what it says, right? Everybody know that, right? But see, here's where the twist comes, because everybody keeps saying that on the 6th day, that's when he made Adam. He just said he made man on the 6th day. Then he rested on the 7th day. Now we're going down to, we call it the Sabbath. The 7th day is the Sabbath. That's the day of rest. Okay, so now we're going down to verse 2. Moreover, Moses, after the 7th day was over, he begins to talk. And it's concerning the formation of man. Okay? And he said, God took the dust from the ground and formed man after the 7th day. This particular man, after the 7th day, this particular man was made from the ground. And his name was Adam, which in Hebrew tongues signifies one that is red, because he was formed out of red earth. Because he was formed out of red earth, compound together, for of that kind is virgin and true earth. So true earth, dirt, is red. Now there's a lot of people that be like, what they say, the white man is red because the Bible says he's red. Now, I know this is another video, but I just want to touch on that for the one time. I had shared this in a group that it said that Adam signifies one that is red. So if the white man is red, then that would make Adam red, right? But we know Adam wasn't red. Adam was black. So that alone debunks the whole red theory of the white man being red and things like that. People need to understand that they are reptilians. They are reptilian breed. There are the few that are just pure breed, and then there are the ones that have mixed in with the black folks and things like that, because as soon as our ancestors stuff came over here, they made it their prerogative to be sleeping with the black people, because we are the pure blood. We are of the Most High God. So they wanted to get that. They thought if they slept with us, that they would get that eternal life. And that's a whole deep story. So anywho, so like I said, he came from the earth, it was red and things like that. But what I wanted to touch on was the fact that that man was made. Adam was made later, but man was made. He considered it man, and then he made Adam later. Um, he made Adam because he wanted to make someone in like his image. Because when he first made stuff, they were living creatures. Living creatures. Living creatures. There was animals. There were beasts. They were walking around with legs and stuff. All right. So now we're going to fast forward. We're going to fast forward. And then we're going to talk about Eve. Eve got created, you know. The Most High put Adam to sleep, took a rib, you know. Everybody knows the story. Made his wife. Okay. So they lived together. The Most High, it says in here that, let me see. Where is it at? Moses says further that God planted a paradise in the east, flourishing with all sorts of trees, and that among them was the tree of life and another of knowledge. Because see, some people think that Adam and Eve was created inside the Garden of Eden and things like that. But no, they were he brought them over there. Among these were trees of life and another of knowledge, whereby was to be known that was good and evil. And that when he brought Adam and his wife into this garden, that's what it says. He brought them into this garden. Mind you, they was already made. They was out there. They was out there in the earth, in the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? Then he created this paradise on the east side. Flourished with all sorts of trees. Okay, one was knowledge, and the main one was the one of knowledge, you know, good and evil, things like that. And then he brought Adam and his wife Eve into this garden. Okay, and he commanded them to take care of these plants. Now the garden was watered by one river. There was only one river there. So it was watered by one river, and then it ran around about the whole earth. Okay, and was parted into 4 parts. All right, so then we're gonna go down a little bit. It's talking about the Red Sea, things like that. It's describing that it was called the Nile and everything like that. So mind you, this was land. Adam was created from the dirt, which was red. Then he didn't want man to be alone, so he put Adam to sleep, took a rib, made a woman. They were living for a little bit. Then he created another, not another, but because the land was already there, but he created a paradise. And then he moved them into this paradise. So they was out there in the wilderness with all these beasts and reptilians and stuff like that. Okay. Then he moved them into the paradise. Okay. And then he tells them, he commands that Adam and his wife should eat all of the rest of the plants, but not to eat of the tree of knowledge. Okay. And foretold them that if they touch it, it will be proved their destruction. Okay. So while this is going on, but while all the living creatures had one language, at the time, the serpent, which then lived together, a serpent, a reptilian. Because, you know, everybody wants to say, okay, the serpent was a snake, a serpent was a snake. A snake is what he turned into, because that's what, the world wants us to believe, you know, that he was a snake or whatever. This serpent had legs and stuff too. This serpent spoke of a language as well. And he lived with Adam and his wife. Okay? This is how Eve found this serpent okay to talk to, because he was already living with him. So The serpent ends up convincing Eve, oh, ain't nothing gonna happen. If you go ahead and you eat of this tree, all that's gonna happen is that you're gonna end up with knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Don't you want to be smart? Okay, that's what he's telling her. And she's like, you know what? Yeah, I do want to be smart. Because I don't like Adam always knowing everything. I like to know some stuff too. Right? Okay. All right. So she ends up eating the fruit and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, she goes to her husband like, Adam, man, I just had this fire fruit. You got to try this. So he tries it. Then all of a sudden, they realize they naked. Then they try to make trees. They try to make, as they quote, apron in the Bible out of fig leaves and stuff. And then they try to hide from God. And, God comes through y'all know the story. Y'all know the story. He comes through the garden, all that, things like that. All right, so we fast forwarding. And he's telling us about the curse. Because they ate this, now they will have to work in the garden. It won't automatically make the food for them. Now they're going to have to start planting seeds and watering them and creating the fruits and the vegetables and stuff that they need to eat to survive. Okay. Also, with that, because the serpent is the one that was talking to Eve and talked her into eating from the tree. It says he also deprived the serpent of speech. So now the serpent can't talk no more. Okay, that alone, just because that alone lets you know this so-called snake that everybody's saying, this serpent, which is a reptilian, was able to talk. Now, this is only one. There was only one reptilian that was there with Adam and Eve. It does not speak. This is what the problem is, because people think that was just the only one, and that Adam and Eve started the whole, like, white people came from Adam and Eve and all that. No, not at all. There's a serpent. That serpent had a kind too. It was just one particular serpent that they put in the garden with Adam and Eve. Well, I just read that to you in the scriptures. So, Aaliyah, am I not on the phone? So the serpent was deprived of his speech. And then let's see. Towards Adam, out of the indignation at his malice. Besides this, he inserted poison under. Okay, so he inserted poison under the serpent's tongue. Now, this could be metaphorically, and this could actually be physical. You just never know. It could be metaphorically speaking of poison, or it could be saying that it was actually poison. And that's why people say, oh, all snakes, if you get bit by a snake, it's poison, it's venom, and all this stuff like that. So he was a snake. Again, poisonous under his tongue. That could be metaphorically speaking, and then that could be physically. You got to be able to diagnose this stuff, break it down, figure out what exactly it means. So, and made him an enemy to man. So, I could touch on that, but I'm not. I'm going to let y'all go ahead and think about that. An enemy to man. And suggested to them that they should direct their strokes against his head. Okay? That being the place wherein lie his mischievous design towards them. Okay? So, basically, it's basically talking about that man should destroy the serpent by the head. Now, who else later on down the line ended up destroying the snake by its head? Because that snake was trying to deceive him, was trying to tempt him like Adam and Eve. Okay, we fast forward and and who was that? That was the Most High Son. He was tempted before it was time for him to, go get crucified and things like that. And then he stepped on the serpent's head, okay, to destroy that serpent. Because down the line, this serpent is considered a snake by then. But right now, this serpent has legs, okay? All right, so let's see, where was I? So his head towards them, and towards man, and it be easiest to take vengeance on him that way. And when he had deprived him of the use of his feet, okay, so first he took away his speech. Now he's taking away his feet, which lets you know this serpent was walking. This serpent was walking. So he not only could talk, but he also had legs and was walking around. He also had legs and was walking around like them. Okay? And made him go rolling all along and dragging himself upon the ground. So by this time, now that his feet is taken away, now all he's doing is, as people say, sliding on his belly. Okay? And then once all these things were appointed, and God penalized them, he removed Adam and Eve out of the garden into another place. Okay? So, I just wanted to touch on that because it does not speak on the reptilians for real. It lets you know that they existed because one of them was placed in the garden. One of these reptilians was placed in the garden with Adam and Eve. But it doesn't speak on his kind because his kind was still out there. And that's what a lot of people need to realize. Stop thinking inside the box and thinking everything in this book is set in stone. Y'all got to understand that these reptilians that run this America, these reptilians that run America has purposely left out the history of them. Yes, this book always is going to speak to us, the Hebrew Israelites, letting us know about our history, but we also need to know about them. They are deceiving. They work through the mind. That's why you got to take it down by the head. You got to destroy the head. Okay? So I just wanted to touch on that, and I hope it was educational to somebody. I hope I didn't confuse nobody. I'm just trying to let y'all understand that there are reptilians out here that are still out here. And they're in high authority. They're in high authority. Okay? They are in high authority. They're enjoying their golds and stuff because and their kingdoms and stuff because they know that they're not going to get that when the Most High God comes back. That's not even what they're going to be able to get. Okay, so they're going to enjoy it here, try to keep us enslaved and things like that. And don't think just because people look black that they're not a reptilian breed. Okay, they've done history on Obama, for instance. And I don't know if I'm going to get flagged in this video for speaking on him. But his forefathers is, what they say, was it Thomas? I can't think of it. One of them reptilians is his forefathers. So he's not even all the way, completely, black, as we call it. But that's a color. But yeah, he never was one of us. And it's just crazy how people put him on this high pedestal, and he's really crooked. But the Antichrist, I don't know who it is, but I do believe because of the deception that is going to happen. People say, oh, the deception is already happening. No, there's still going to be a great deception. There's deception going on, yeah. But the Bible speaks of a great deception. That is what's going to happen. And I do believe, because people think that the Antichrist is going to be a white man, I do believe the Antichrist will be a black man. He will come looking like one of us and seem like he's just all golden. May even call himself the Messiah. You never know. I don't know. But one thing that he's going to have to do before he can take over and the tribulation truly begins, he's going to have to first work through the UN. He's going to have to get that coverage, be over the UN. Then something will happen over here in America, whatever. Something's going to happen over here. Our president is going to die. Something assassinated, something. And then they're going to be like, oh, well, this person that's over the UN, we know is a good person, and they'll be able to run everything correctly. And they're partnered with the Pope. So this man is holy. This man is this man. They're going to have him up on such a high pedestal. And then he's going to easily take over America as well. And then we will be one. We will be one. And it will be, they already working on one currency. Go in your room. They're already working on one currency. And, you know what I'm saying? They already, Pope Francis, he been done, that's not even a good phrase to use, but he has already created a book, and I'll post pictures later to even talk to show y'all the book that he wrote back in 2015. I think it was 2015, where he had an idea of making a one world religion. Okay, and they're already starting that. They're trying to use climate control as a base and things like that. But they're already starting a one world religion. Papers were signed to where he's supposed to be working towards where nobody can buy and sell on a Sunday. And we all know that Sunday is not really the Sabbath day. It is called Sunday because it's sun idol worship and things like that. Nobody's saying anything about it's bad to go to church. I don't want y'all to think that, because there's nothing wrong with going. I personally believe there's nothing wrong with going and worshiping the Most High God, as long as that's who's actually being worshipped there. Because some of these churches, they're not worshiping him. They're worshiping money. They're idolizing things like pastors and bishops and stuff like that. They're not really trying to get close to the Most High. They're just trying to, be seen. I want to be a minister. I want to be this. I want to be that, just so I could be seen. When in actuality, you should be focused on doing God's work and what's going to please him. Because at the end of the day, these people that are worshiping you, they're not going to put you in paradise and things like that. They're not, that they don't have that, you know what I'm saying? They can't do all of that. So I'm just saying there's nothing wrong, to me, there's nothing wrong with playing some gospel music, worshiping God, if that's what you want to do, as long as it's the right one. But y'all need to understand, time is winding down. It's so much that a lot of people are missing, because that they are, there's nothing wrong with reading the Bible and knowing the Bible, but they're so wrapped up in certain things in the Bible that they're missing the big picture here. They're missing the game that's being played. That's what they're missing. They're missing the reptilian game that's being played. This whole life is a chessboard, and they focus on one move, and these reptilians got a whole nother thing going, even down to sacrifices and stuff like that. Everything is done for a reason. They do it for a reason. So I'm just going to get off of here. I hope this video was educational to somebody. you know. Each one teach one. Nobody's trying to be like they smarter than the next person. We all here to try to make it to the kingdom. And you want to sharpen each other's knives. Nobody is your enemy. Don't ever look at people as your enemy. Nobody's your enemy. We're here trying to get to the kingdom. And the best way to try to get to the kingdom is wake up people as much as we can. Okay, the ones that's woke, some of them ain't woke all the way, so we need to sharpen they swords. Iron sharpens iron. Okay, another thing, I know y'all see my garden in the back, folks. There are a lot of food out here that is being made out of plastic. That people ain't even realizing that we're eating and consuming plastic, chemicals, and things like that. So y'all need to start planting y'all own plants. I got green beans and stuff back here, tomatoes and everything. Y'all need to do y'all own plants, because that's the only way that y'all gonna be healthy. Understand, these reptilians are behind everything. So if they want to infuse a poison in the food that you go and buy, they can do it, because they're already making clones of the food. That's why there's a whole lot of seedless fruits and vegetables, because they're cloned. A GMO. They're making a copy of each thing. So all they have to do is just put one plant that they plant, put a poison in that plant, make copies of it, thousands of it, put that item on sale, because everybody's going to need this stuff, because there will be a famine. The Bible speaks of it. People think that what happened, a couple of months ago was it. No, that was just a test. That was not a test, but a trial run. That was just a trial run. So you got to start planting your own plants and stuff so that you can be healthy, because they are putting poisons and stuff in our foods. And when there will be another famine, all they got to do is just poison one item. Something, and it could be something like, people think, oh, well, maybe it'll be in TV dinners or something like that, or pizza or something like that. No, it'll be in what you would least expect. It could be in an orange. It could be in a tomato. It could be in a banana. Things that we would go to eat for health and nutrition. That's how they're going to take us out. If you have not started storing, I say this all the time in all my videos, well, most of my videos, if you have not started storing your food, please do so now, because now is the time before they start really messing with some stuff. Now is the time to start stocking. Help your brothers and sisters if they need food and things like that. They're 10%. Your 10% of your crops, your food. Help those that need it. You know what I'm saying? There's homeless people in every state. Help them out. Help them out. Not with money. You need to help them out with food, because if you give them money, if they're on withdrawals and stuff, doing drugs and stuff, they're not going to do nothing but continue to do that. You want to give them something that's going to give them nutrition and stuff. Give them a word. Ooh, excuse me. Give them a word. Scripture, something. Teach them something. Speak to their inner man, their spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because trust and believe, when you out there homeless, it's the devil's playing with your mind. So those type of people really don't need cash, because the devil, as soon as they get cash, he gonna be that little serpent and be like, you got some money now, go get you a pack of cigarettes, go get you a bird. With that $2, you can go get you a bird and they'll last you. And it's not gonna last them, but they don't know no better. They're being controlled. So we need to wake up our brothers and sisters, help them out and things like that. I need some oil on my hair. And things like that. So I'm about to get off of here. This video has been long enough. I love y'all. Peace and blessings to everyone. And I'll see if I make another video a little later.